Welcome back to the Quiet On Set podcast, a weekly show about film and TV, hosted by myself, Ewan Gruff, and Lachlan Teely. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, sir. I'm doing good. Thanks for finally getting back into it because it's been a week.
It's been a minute since we last recorded. There's also been a recording that I've had trouble editing. Hopefully this is finally out now and you have seen our Oscar reactions. I know we're a bit late because we're finally getting around to having our take on Will Smith's Oscar
A
slap.
lot of shit to react to this year.
Yeah, and I feel like people moved on after 2 days. So we are getting in the, I don't know, like 3 weeks after, but we kind of took a week off. We might be taking a week off next week or the week after as well. So I don't know. We definitely will be back, but we are kind of taking a bit of a spring break as well. If a bit of an unannounced spring break. I hope you don't mind too much. We are back to talk about quite a few things. We got like really quick reviews, or at least I do, for Morbius, for Sonic 2, The Bubble, Apollo 10.5, Ambulance. I guess we talked about that last week already. Severance Season 1, The Dropout, and even more. We are also looking at the trailer for Stranger Things Season 4 and Marcel the Shell with the shoes on. Oh no, wait, I'm getting that wrong. What was it called?
It was Marcel the Shell
Marcel the Shell with shoes on. It's already kind of a tongue twister as it goes along. Try to say that 10 times really fast. And that's from A24. We'll also have quite a bit of news that we'll try and go over fairly quickly. And stuff about like internet trolling, retirement, casting, bans, and cancellations. Finally, the not so long awaited third installment in the Fantastic Beast saga finds its way onto screen somehow, and we do have some thoughts that we want to share about it. So we'll have a spoiler review later in the show. But if you want to skip around to anything specific that interests you, there are time codes as always linked below. And without further ado, I guess I'll give a quick shout out for those of you who are rating us on Apple and on Spotify. Leave those 5-star reviews. They're going a long way to help us grow the show. But without further ado, let's get into the news. First up, Lachlan, let's talk about the retirement of the one and only Bruce Willis. Kind of recontextualizing, for me at least, his last couple of years working as an actor. He has come out and stated now that he has aphasia. I think that's what it's called. So that is a type of disease that makes it difficult to do anything with language and speech, and it is usually affecting like the left side of the brain, responsible for understanding and producing language. And seeing him in these last few films where like there were a lot of rumors going around that he had earpieces in and the director was just feeding him lines and stuff, it really recontextualizes when he was doing those type of like money grabber films, and he was barely there, that he actually wasn't barely there. He actually was like barely there. So yeah, Lachlan, what do you think about this whole ordeal?
It's a bit of an unfortunate way to end a career. Obviously, there's a number of actors that have this. I guess the first one that comes to mind is Michael J. Fox. With his what was it? Parkinson's, I think it is.
Parkinson's, yeah.
So yeah, no, it's unfortunate to see Bruce Willis, such a beloved actor, his career come to an end in such an unfortunate way. But I guess it does give a bit of context to the number of films that he's pumped out recently, because I do remember discussing it with some mates where it's like, what the fuck is he pumping out? Why is he doing these shitty films? And then it looks like it was kind of just to, round out his career, just, complete his filmography on IMDb, try to get past those like 100 credits at least record on there. But
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
yeah, it's unfortunate.
Obviously, that I don't think there's enough information out there yet, but I think it's really interesting to see maybe what pushes him to do like these films, if it's coming from his thing that he's just trying to get secure as much of the bag as he can, before he retires, or if there's other forces pushing him to work so much still. I don't know, but I'd be really interested if like an agent or whatever does have influence over that, because he does feel like he's definitely like shoehorned into this stuff and just pressed into it. But I mean, he has shot quite a few films, and there's like another like 8 movies that are supposed to release in 2022 and 2023, where he was a part of it. So a lot more Bruce Willis until he like finally retires. But I guess the great stuff is in the past. But those will always have the diehards and the pulp fictions of the world. Um, anyways, let's speaking of great films. Lachlan, have you heard about a little film called Everything Everywhere All at Once, kind of taking
Nah,
the world
must have
by
missed it.
storm?
No,
No,
I have
currently
heard of it.
sitting at the highest rated film of all time on Letterboxd. Isn't that crazy? And isn't it
Big
crazy that
praise.
it's gone from limited release to the big release in the US, but still nothing in sight for us? Well, I guess for you, it will
Well, it
be
comes out
later
in
this
like,
week.
yeah, it comes out later this week.
Couple days, and no Swiss release date still, but I think they have one in Germany, and I'm like, dude, I haven't crossed the
Time to
border
catch
in
a
a
train.
while. Definitely gonna hop on over there, but I think it's the end of April, so I'm so looking forward to finally catching this
So
film,
I get to
and
see it
we'll
before
definitely have
you?
an episode.
Ooh, what a
you
first.
you are
What a
definitely
first.
getting to see it, so
All right,
we might need
everybody,
to
you're going to
take
get first-hand coverage from the
I'm,
Australian perspective instead of the Swiss
yeah,
perspective this time. So
which is fine. I guess it's outbalanced, but I guess you are getting to see, according to Letterboxd, the best movie of all time before me. Well, we'll see.
what
The
are you
hype
getting to
is
see before
real.
me? Wait, what are you seeing today?
I'm seeing The Northman, and
Okay, well,
ooh,
I
I
guess it
could
kind of
even see
evens out
Downton
then.
Abbey 2, A New Era. I don't know if that
I
makes
think
me
you might have
probably
me
pretty
beat,
jealous.
bro. You have me beat.
No, I'm not.
Fuck
I'm
the
just
Northman.
seeing The Northman, but yeah, that movie comes out quite soon as well. So we'll have an episode dedicated to that probably in 2 weeks. And yeah, so that's Everywhere All at Once. We're really excited, and I mean, we're gonna cover it at some point by the time I finally get to see it as well. We also got some news on the casting front when it comes to Barbie, the film written by Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach. We already had Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling confirmed as Barbie and Ken for this film. And now Emma Mackey and Will Ferrell are joining the cast. So I think Emma Mackey is someone who's kind of, you know, she looks a lot like Margot Robbie, and she's obviously gotten that a lot. So it's interesting that they cast her in this. I don't know for what reason, because like it's probably not like a younger self, I assume, but maybe, I don't know. It kind of would work. What do you think, Lachlan?
What if Margot Robbie is an Emma Mackey clone?
Oh, so like, wait, if Emma,
Because everyone says Emma Mackey
who's
looks like Margot Robbie, but what if
yeah.
Margot Robbie looks like Emma Mackey?
Well, I think Margot is older, so like I would default
Oh,
to
fine, it defaults then.
I guess is she older? I don't even know. I just feel, wait, we gotta
Alright,
check that,
we're
because
gonna
like
do a
Margot
quite on
Robbie,
set official. I'm gonna look at Emma.
yeah, live thing. No, yeah, no, Emma Mackey's 26, and I think Margot Robbie's like 32 or something. She's above 30 though, so confirmed there. I think this movie looks super interesting to me, because it has those names attached, not just in front of the camera, but especially in the writing chair. Those two, the duo, Noah Baumbach and Greta Gerwig, I think is really exciting. So are you looking forward to Barbie as well?
Yeah, man.
Wouldn't have thought that I would ever say that.
On the edge of my seat for the Barbie live action movie.
Yeah, ready with your dollhouse to play along, to sketch it all out. It's interesting because I have no idea where this will go, but it certainly will be interesting coming from these two. Speaking of things that I'm looking forward to because of the talent attached, we got the Bottoms from Emma Seligman, who previously did Shiva Baby. I don't know, Lachlan, did you ever see Shiva Baby?
Yeah, I did.
Did I
I saw it.
make you watch it?
I don't think you made me watch it. I think I watched it on my own accord.
Oh no. Oh yeah, I do remember we talked about it. I think on the podcast as well. So my memory escapes me. But yeah, I really liked it. I can't remember how much you liked it as well.
I liked it. I
Did
enjoyed
you?
it. I thought it was a very
Yeah.
good, like, little. I thought it was like a good extension of a short film, a very long
Yeah,
short film,
exactly.
essentially.
Yeah, it does deliver on that premise. And I mean also the lead in this, Rachel Sonnet from Shiva Baby, is gonna be in Bottoms. And now listen to this. I think the logline is what really will intrigue you. Two unpopular queer high school students start a fight club to have sex before graduation. Now how sick is that?
Okay.
That sounds pretty intriguing to me. Pretty fun.
Cool.
We also got some news for Sherlock, not from the BBC, but the ones from Guy Ritchie. Apparently, Robert Downey Jr. is executive producing 2 series over on HBO Max, continuing that franchise's universe with new characters. Apparently, he's not supposed to be starring in them. He's too big time, I guess. But there's also a third movie in the works. So, Lachlan, what do you think of this continuation of HBO Max, kind of serializing pretty much all of the content, the new IP? You know, with Batman, they did it with Peacemaker, more recently with the Suicide Squad. So, yeah, what do you think about all of this?
Yeah, sure. I have no
Yeah, you'll
feelings
take it.
towards it. I'll take whatever. Like, I do enjoy the Guy Ritchie style, but obviously it's not going to be Guy Ritchie
No, it's
who's
gonna be
going to do
Dexter
it.
Fletcher for the third one. Yeah.
But I'm interested. It's a fun world to go into, and I
Oh
really
yeah,
do
for
want
sure.
Downey to come back and Jude Law as well to both come back because they
Hmm.
both did a great job. As much as the second one, it didn't flop because it was a success because we have spoken about it, but um as much as it wasn't as much as it sucked in comparison to the first one, I really do hope that this new director can bring something new to it, which is going to be a
Hmm.
recurring theme this episode because I can't wait to start talking about Fantastic Beasts.
Well, I think numbers wise, I think it made more than half a billion. So it's definitely like a successful movie overall, but I guess critically it wasn't as acclaimed. I think it's also interesting that they say it's not gonna include or at least focus mainly on an established character. It makes me think like, okay, who's it gonna focus on then? Are we getting another Enola Holmes type of series,
Eleanor
or what's
Holmes,
happening?
yeah, one of those little spin-offs.
We'll see. Anyways, but that is further into the future. But it's gonna be produced by Team Downey, so that's the production team of I guess Robert Downey Jr. and his wife Susan Downey. And I mean they've already done stuff before on HBO. They made Perry Manson, and Netflix's Sweet Tooth is also from them. Anyways, I got a few headlines for you that I'll just like quickly run by you. If you have any thoughts or that you want to share, we can get into that right after. First up, at age 67, Gilbert Gottfried did pass away. So rest in peace to a great comedy legend. Will Smith got his 10-year ban from attending
Justified.
any of the Oscar ceremonies or any Oscar type of Academy events for the next 10 years. He will not be there. Speaking of 10, that's the theme for the headlines this week. Brie Larson is apparently joining Fast 10 and was welcomed
As
into the
Captain
family
Marvel.
by Vin Diesel. Yeah, some sort of kind of badass female character. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, they won't just make a villain. I think they kind of had, like, they did it with Charlize Theron and Helen Mirren, kinda. So if we have, like, another addition to the family, that would be fun as well. Then Tyrese Gibson got I thought this was super funny. Tyrese Gibson got tricked by a post was apparently, like, supposedly Scorsese saying that he hates comic book movies, but Morbius was the real deal, and he reposted that on his Instagram. I don't know if you saw that. It was very
I
funny,
saw it.
so give that a look if you just want to have a good chuckle. And then finally, Ezra Miller is probably done. There's been just like a lot of stuff
He's
coming
probably
up.
done.
He's probably done, man. He's probably done with his career. I mean, he's in Fantastic Beasts.
Man,
I was like,
they're
when he
gonna
showed
recast
up.
someone else in Fantastic Beasts now. Jesus.
Well, we'll get into it. I don't know if we'll get another Fantastic Beasts film, to be honest.
Really?
But it's still doing numbers. I mean, I could see it. But we're definitely gonna get into it when it comes to spoilers. But that's I'm already getting ahead of myself. But there was an incident I think in Hawaii where like he assaulted people, or he was arrested, and apparently he's a mess on set as well. He's just barely holding it together. So I think they're probably gonna phase him out of a lot of the stuff. And I mean, we do have, not this year because it's already been pushed back to 2023 already. The Flash coming up, and having like the Batman in there, and apparently I think also Supergirl, right, as well. They're probably gonna like phase him out of this whole DCEU as kind of smoothly as they can, and won't continue his story, because I don't see them making future installments and having him reappear a lot, if he's such a PR risk, I guess, overall, and probably also quite a lot to deal with creatively. But yeah. Do you have anything to add apart from the deservedly 10 years ban for Will Smith?
Yeah.
I don't know. 10 years seems like a long time, and it feels weird because like the Academy can't really do anything. They're just like, they can just say you can't come to our stuff. He can still be nominated though. What I think is interesting now is like, do people not want to cast him in as much stuff because it doesn't have the Oscar potential of him actually like being there in person? I mean, he can still
People
be
don't want to.
nominated.
People won't cast him because he can't go to the Oscars. People won't cast him because of the fucking slap he did with Chris Rock. Like people are
Yeah.
still, there's still going to be a small group of people who want to cast Will Smith, and they're going to kind of
Yeah.
ignore that, right? They're going to see him as, especially with the recent stuff that's come out that Jada has said, they're going to feel a bit bad for him, and he's still going to do some films in the next 10 years, but I can definitely
Yeah.
see his career slowing down and not really being much. He could probably keep doing the executive producing stuff, but him being a starring role might be a little while until we start seeing him back in something big.
Definitely not going to be in the next Judd Apatow movie.
I actually no, maybe John Apatow will say yes, let's do it.
Really? He was the one who said like, he could have killed Chris Rock. He like tweeted after.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon he'll do it. I'm
He
just
would do
quickly
it?
having a look. I'm seeing what's
Yeah.
on his IMDb. He's got
Mhm.
one,
Oh, there were a couple of
two, a comedy
projects who are now
special,
halted, because of it.
Netflix. Yeah, there's a couple stuff in post production which I don't think they would cancel, but there's plenty of
Yeah.
stuff that's still in pre production that it will probably shut down.
I think there was something on Netflix that was supposed to go into production soon, and they, I think it was Netflix that they canceled. I don't have the information in front of me, so I will abstain
Yeah.
from making just speculation. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the news this week. So let's have a look at the new trailers that we got. And first up, we do have the tongue twister Marcel the Shell with shoes on. It's actually not that bad. I think I'm just bad at reading.
You just gotta
And
concentrate.
yeah, that's the A24 film. I'm just gonna read you very quickly the synopsis of this film. When struggling filmmaker Dean moves into an Airbnb, he quickly discovers that he is not alone. Marcel, an adorable 1-inch tall shell, already lives there with his grandmother Connie and their pet Lint Allen. Once part of a sprawling community of shells, Marcel and Connie live alone as the sole survivors of a mysterious tragedy. Taken with his unlikely new friend, Dean starts filming Marcel and his grandmother, igniting a meteoric rise to internet fame that changes their lives forever. So it's Marcel the Shell with shoes on. So yeah, Lachlan, what did you think of this?
It's cute, and I
Cute,
want to
right?
watch it so
Very
I can
cute.
feel good. It's going to be my new feel good movie.
Yeah, it looks really sweet. Kind of has that like fake documentary, mockumentary type of style. And the director is part of the cast as well because he's kind of
Perfect.
playing himself doing this documentary. I looked back on the IMDb of the director, and he's mainly done this over 10 years ago. He already did a couple of shorts. I think there's like 3 shorts, at least 3 listed on IMDb on Letterboxd.
Very similar to David Yates, who's only ever done Potterverse movies.
Right. It's just gonna increase. Maybe someday Edgar Wright's ad for Squarespace with the seashells is gonna be included in this universe as well. I mean, we've seen crazy
Multiverse
crossovers
movies
happen. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, this looks really sweet. We're definitely gonna check it out. But I thought I was a bit confused. What this movie is ultimately, you know. But I think it's just gonna be a really sweet type of
I think it's a
story.
documentary about that shell trying to find its family, Ewan. It's a pretty simple premise to follow.
It's pretty
bro.
straightforward. Okay, I got it. And it's
a lot more
Marcel.
straightforward than Secrets of Dumbledore, but like I'm just comparing it to another movie, apples to apples.
Yeah, apples to apples, dumbles to doors. Yeah, of course. Anyways, let's move on. It's a fucking dumbass joke. It's early, by the way. If you couldn't tell, it's like we are recording at 6 a.m. for me right now. I wasn't
and
sure.
And this
if
is just
I
12 o'clock
it.
in the afternoon for me, so usually it's like late at night.
Yeah, it's a bit different. Anyways, stranger things have happened, and that is the season 4.
That's a great segue.
Yeah, I don't know if it actually was. I think you're just pulling my leg. But yeah, the 9 episode, not so final season of Stranger Things is hitting with the first 5 episodes coming on May 27th and the last 4 on July 1st. We got not the first look, but like a first like really proper extended look at the new season. And I mean, I would say spoilers ahoy, because we already get to see fully on a monster. And I don't know how you felt about that, Lachlan, because you're usually someone who advocates for don't show me the monster, I want to imagine it. So what did you think about this trailer?
Well, thanks for saying what I was going to say, Ewan, before I could even say it. But look, you know what? It's Stranger Things, so there's stranger things that could happen in that monster. So hopefully they're going to still keep something a secret.
Yeah.
Because other than that, the trailer seemed okay. It doesn't really tell me much. Although, did I read here that all of the episodes are 1 hour plus?
They are all gonna be 1 hour plus, yeah.
Okay, I'm happy. I like longer style shows like this, so I'm excited. Season 1 was good, Season 2 was Season 3 was better. Hopefully Season 4 will knock it out of the ballpark. And do you say this is not going to be the final season? I thought this was going to be the final season. It's not.
I thought it was as well, but apparently they're working on a 5th and then, of course, final season.
Right, so 5th and final season. So this is going to be the 4th season, then it's going to be the 5th. So no matter what this big bad is going to be this season, no matter how try to big bad they're going to do, they're going to make a big bad next season. So
yeah, as always, DJ Khaled is going to be the bad guy. Another one we need. I mean, I think it was like it gave us kind of an ending at the end of the first. Like after the first season, it didn't need a second season. I think the show has just been continued because it's had like great success. I wish mine had that type of success. Yeah, and like it's always had this like great action set pieces on not action, but at least visually like this really vibrant look with what is it, like the upside down world or like the other side or whatever, and there's a lot of that in the trailer already. Makes me question how much we'll actually like spend in like crazy world, and because I think what works really well with these with Stranger Things is sometimes the characterization and the dynamics there. So I hope that will not be just on the back burner for cool visuals, because I think they do have a, like with them also being older, I think they could also could tell fun stories as well. But
man,
all remains to be
speaking of DJ
seen.
Khaled, as you said beforehand.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy to think that DJ Khaled was the worst part of the Oscars for the first like 2 hours, and then it became Will Smith?
It was really
Isn't that
weird how
ridiculous?
he was just
He
yeah,
just
yeah.
rocked up.
He basically did whatever he does in the music industry and did that for film.
And did that, yeah. Crazy.
It's
crazy, right?
Crazy. Yeah, it is crazy what happened there.
Super crazy.
Oh yeah. Anyways, because we didn't have an episode last week, or I guess no, but it's anyways, we just haven't gotten over the new releases yet. So out now in theaters is Sonic 2, Ambulance, the new Michael Bay film, and All the Old Knives over on Prime Video. Then on April 15th, we got a Swiss release that I do want to give a shout out. Soul of a Beast, kind of a movie that I would say is pushing Swiss filmmaking a bit ahead because it's different. We get a lot of like costume period dramas, I guess I'd say, and this movie has a lot of inspiration, I'd say, from Tarantino, from Wong Kar-wai. It has some anime inspirations. It just goes crazy. Might not work for everyone, but it's at least like taking a big swing, so I can really appreciate when I ever see that coming from my homeland. So go check out Soul of a Beast if it's playing anywhere near you. Then we got Riley Stern's Duel, the director of The Art of Self-Defense, which premiered earlier this year at Sundance, is getting a limited release, as well as Paris, a 13th District. And of course, Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore is getting its US release this week. And then finally on Netflix, we got Choose or Die with Asa Buttercup, which is going to be a horror thriller. Interesting. It's apparently, he fires up an old game from the 80s, and there's some, I don't know if it's some Jumanji type of stuff, but it looks really interesting. I'll definitely give it that a watch. Looks like a fun horror thriller. But yeah, that's it for the news, the new releases, and the trailers. And let's get to what we've been watching. And Lachlan, first up, I do believe we have seen a movie that kind of overlaps. We both have seen the new Judd Apatow film, The Bubble. So what did you think of The Bubble?
I got something in my eye. Hang on. I don't know what happened there. I think I cried because how good The Bubble is. I didn't finish it. If I'm totally honest.
You didn't finish the... Okay, well, that's
no.
Good for you. Good.
Yeah,
actually
because
good for you.
I didn't want to sit through the whole fucking thing.
You want to give it... I mean, it's a COVID film, right? So it needs to be experienced throughout a long, overdrawn thing.
I don't care.
Just making it as painful
it was
as possible.
Trash.
It was very trash, right? It wasn't funny. It all.
I don't think I laughed once.
A comedy that's also kind of high budget with what they did is painfully like out of touch,
cast.
And so like yeah, I could forgive it if it's actually funny, but I think it made me like laugh 2 times, but just like from cringe type of humor. When they did like that dino TikTok dance, I think I burst out laughing because it was so ridiculous. So yeah, I think Judd Apatow is a big miss sometimes, although like some of his stuff also hits, but I think he's just like he's too old to talk about recent stuff. I think he just doesn't get it.
Stop trying to relate.
Yeah, and he put his own daughter into the film, Iris, as like this TikTok star, and it was just painful to watch. As is like watching TikTok, but it's even more painful when someone is then not even doing the easy thing of like, making high production TikToks, which wouldn't make any type of sense. That's like a nitpicking thing. I think the movie doesn't work on a lot of levels, but yeah, that's The Bubble. Gonna give that a quick skip, and then you've also seen...
I gave it a half star, by the way. I gave it a half star.
Half star. Okay, I'm gonna not give you... If you want my rating, go on to Letterboxd.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Not giving it to you. Anyways, Moon Knight episode 1 and 2 are out.
Yes.
The new episode is releasing
Today.
A couple of hours from now. Yeah, today.
So keen.
No thoughts on that, I guess, yet. But what did you make of the first 2 episodes introducing
Episode 1 was dope. Episode 2 was also dope, but not as dope as episode 1. But definitely just brought a bit more context into the world for us. I thought it was good. Like I've enjoyed every single moment of it. For me, it's just a fun little show. Oscar Isaac and
Ethan Hawke.
I almost said Kevin Bacon, and I was like, it's not Kevin Bacon.
Fair enough. It is close. It's like a Margot
similar.
Robbie, Emma Mackey situation.
Kind of
yeah.
So yeah, Ethan Hawke is with Oscar Isaac. Whenever those two are in a scene together, it's just sparks flying. Those two are just super good at both of these roles, and any role that they're pretty much given 95% of the time. So Moon Knight so far is getting my tick of approval. It's kind of been one of my more favorite Disney Plus TV shows of recent memory, probably up until the point that Obi-Wan comes out. If Obi-Wan has to be the best one that they make, surely it's got to be the most high budget. It's got to be the best one.
Sure. I don't know. We'll see.
I hate how much
they pushed it back. By the way, we didn't cover this, but they pushed it back to May 28th. But we'll get it then. So I think it's like 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later than it initially was supposed to come out. But yeah.
Hey, take as much time as they want. I don't mind. Because it's going to be the
I think
Disney Plus
there's
TV
going to
show
be like
ever.
I think it's like a Comic-Con or whatever, like some type of event that's happening, or like Disney's event on May 23rd. I think that's why they're probably gonna premiere it on the same day as that is happening. But yeah, that's Moon Knight. I also quite enjoyed it. I think we'll give it a series review in a couple of weeks. But until then, I think it's really worth checking out. I think it's been so far the Marvel show that's been the most unique and the most interesting, most intriguing. I hope they follow through and just deliver a cool, I guess, still 6-episode type of TV movie. If you are being really honest, it's not like it's giving us the Stranger Things type of like 1 hour plus 9-episode type of season. It still feels like a mini movie, but I'll take it if it's good. So yeah, Lachlan, what else did you watch?
Basically, it's just been me finishing up TV shows I started.
Yeah.
Like I have so many TV shows that I have watched the first couple episodes of, was very excited to watch it, and then something else came up, so I didn't end up finishing it. And 2 of these TV shows was Euphoria, which I have finished now, season 1 and season 2. Which, if you want my quick thoughts, season 1 is very good, both visually and story-wise. Season 2, story sucks. Visuals are brilliant. So, fuck season 2 and its story. But well done with the technical presentation. It kind of seemed like they just focused more on that season.
I mean, did you know that he was shooting on like actual film for season 2?
Yeah, they shoot on this film that's no longer developed anymore, so it's made for this show, which was, gives it this very distinctive look, which is nice. And there are plenty of technical camera shots that are brilliant in this show. Like there is just brilliant camera work done. But that seems to be the only thing the show has going for it at this point, because they ruined 95% of the characters' story arcs in season 2. So when season 3 comes out, which I don't think is going to be for like another 2 years, hopefully that gives them enough time, because they're going to develop the film. Hope that gives them enough time to, 1, figure out where they fucking want to go with the story, 2, keep the technical stuff booming, whether it be new stuff or just keep doing what you're currently doing. But the big one, I'm just going to go back to it because I want to double down on that one. Fix the fucking plot. It's turning into, what's that TV show, the
Riverdale?
teen TV show? Riverdale. Fuck me. It's
there was an
turning into
announcement I just saw on Twitter, because we're never going to talk about Riverdale on the show. But apparently,
we just did.
A tweet popped up that was like, Riverdale season whatever, I don't know what they're up to, is going to introduce time travel.
Oh, for fuck's sake, it's going to introduce time travel.
Yeah, to make it even more
Man,
convoluted.
Riverdale is essentially the
Can't give no
Sharknado of
fucks.
TV.
It is somewhat.
It is,
I think
right?
it's also. I also recently saw a statement that like everyone who's in that show is like so done with like
They're done.
moving on for that
They
show.
don't want to do that show anymore. But
Yeah.
is it Netflix that does Riverdale, or is just gonna keep milking that shit?
Yeah. True.
But,
yeah, it is now on Netflix, right?
Yeah, other than Euphoria, I finished Foundation on Apple TV, which I literally got halfway through and then I stopped because it became boring. And I can see why I stopped, because the story got way too convoluted and complicated. But it's the same deal with Euphoria. It looks pretty good. With anything on Apple TV, it just looks stunning. I don't know what it is with Apple and their streaming technology, but they can make things look so good when you stream it. To the point where if I could, instead of getting physical copies of stuff on 4K, I'd rather stream it on Apple TV, because I reckon it just looks just as good. I watched Peacemaker season 1.
Ooh, okay.
I watched all of it.
Give me your thoughts. Did you like it?
It was fun.
Or did you?
It was an enjoyable TV show, and I laughed about it. I laughed.
Yeah.
Like, I actually watched a TV show where they said a joke or they said something or they did something, and I properly laughed for the first time in a long time, which is, not like it's a because everything these days has to have comedy into, like, it has to be throughout the entire thing. There can't be just a moment where it's serious and then it cuts. It has to be serious, joke, then cut. So comedy is now woven into every single scene basically that exists these days. Whether it just be a quick joke, a character has to be serious but witty. A character can't just be serious these days, which sucks. Peacemaker is kind of like, no, it's a meme essentially. So the entire thing is like, these characters are set in a real world, but they're funny. They're actually very funny. And obviously this goes James Gunn and his writing and his overall direction of the show, even though he didn't direct it, did he? No, he only directed like the first episode? Anyway. But his vision of this world and his comedy is great. I do enjoy it. So Peacemaker season 1 was really fun. I enjoyed it. I hope they do a season 2. Or at least I hope James Gunn can keep doing stuff like this, because I do enjoy a show that takes itself seriously enough to be funny. Because the job at the end of the day of this was to be funny.
Exactly, yeah. And I think he did say that he's taking a step back from the MCU after Guardians, if I got that right. I think he would have a bigger part of like the whole MCU, kind of, similar to someone like, maybe not even Taika, but I guess more Kevin Feige way. Like, he could shape more of that universe, but because they did fire him, he's kind of now gone into, two lovers' beds, and he's in bed now with the MCU and the DCEU. And I think what he's been able to contribute to DC has been super fun.
I hope he becomes more Jon Favreau. Where he becomes
Jon Favreau is probably the best comparison there. Yeah, exactly.
He did a great job with Guardians, and he has worked, I guess, as a executive producer. I think he was an executive producer on the Endgame as well, to involve the Guardians.
Oh, really?
Or at least the last 2 Avengers movies. So I wouldn't mind seeing him stepping back and, being the guy that they talk to about how they incorporate these characters. But I do like to see I would love to see his like original stuff. And I still want to see the original Scooby-Doo script that he wrote for the live action Scooby-Doo movie put to the screen. Yeah. I want that IP to be sold so that they can do something with Scooby-Doo that's more R-rated. But other than that,
R-rated Scooby-Doo, that would be crazy.
I'm currently still watching Barry's, and I'm up to season 1, episode 8. So I'm enjoying that. It's fun.
Yes.
Again, another show that it takes itself seriously at being funny. So I'm really enjoying that. And I'm doing this all while playing Elden Ring. And I've played about 10 hours of Elden Ring so far. So, and I
How many times have you died?
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. I'm not the best Souls-like player, but yeah, I decided to, because there's no other games coming out for the entirety of the year, essentially. at least nothing with a firm date, at least, that I'm interested in.
I was about to say, there's like the Wii Sports thing that Nintendo's going.
Wow. Actually, we just bought Mario Kart and we're playing Mario Kart as well. So that's another thing that I'm playing. But Elden Ring is what I'm playing on the side, and yeah, I've basically watched all of those while in between like playing Elden Ring for like an hour or so, and then jumping back into like another TV show or something like that. So that's been my past 2 weeks.
Right. Well, great stuff. Did you? Okay, the way we're
By the
gonna
way,
go
Elden
about
Ring
this.
is great. Elden Ring is great.
Oh yeah, another drop in the bucket for the appraisal for Elden Ring. I think at this point, it was probably super fun to see like that movie skyrocket in sales, and then a lot of people realizing that it's not like a Skyrim type of game, but it is more like it is a From Software Dark Souls type of game. People just probably rage quitting and maybe even returning the game. I saw a couple of those. Anyways, the way we're gonna go about this with just too many movies to talk about. We could have done so many, but we'll focus on Fantastic Beasts for our full review. I'm gonna make you give me a name from the list you can see down below from what we've been watching. I'll give you a really quick indication. Should you skip it or should you watch it? I'll try and like really briefly share my thoughts on a film, and whenever you feel like we are moving on to next film, you give me that next title and we're moving on. So we are banging this one out really quickly. And if you want my extended thoughts for some of these, there will be reviews on like full single reviews on the Ewan Graph podcast if you're interested. But yeah, anyways, Lachlan,
3, 2, 1, go. The Apartment.
The Apartment, 1960s Best Picture winner, really solid. Is cheesy but super fun to see. I think a must for anyone, for any cinephile.
Our flag means death.
Ooh, Taika Waititi produced HBO Max show that is featuring gay pirates. It made me laugh. It made me cry. It is a
Apollo 10.5.
Dude, Richard Linklater, my all-time favorite. Now he's back to rotoscoping, telling back a story from the 60s, basically his own life story, and it's sweet. It has a lot of charm, and it's actually about time passing and not just I'm losing words. Give me a new one.
Wheel of Fortune of Fantasy.
If you like Drive My Car, this is a movie that was actually shot before Drive My Car, but it's coming out now from the same director. Give it a watch. It's about 3 women, kind of their whole life storming. Ambulance, I talked about it last week already. Michael Bay and drones.
Morbius.
Big explosions. Morbius.
Don't care about
Christ,
Ambulance.
Morbius.
Getting past that.
Hey, Morbius, everyone knows by now, the highest grossing film of all time. Great stuff. Gonna win Best Picture, but also don't go see it. You'll be eaten by a vampire.
The Dropout.
The Dropout, miniseries about that billionaire tech woman who made like fake blood shit, and she's about to go into for prison now. And Hulu is turning out these series faster than the headlines are being written. Severance, Apple TV show. I think it's kind of comparable to Apple TV Plus's Succession. It is about like work-life balance, but in a very futuristic and nihilistically dystopian way. So give that a watch. I think it's really worth, and it just wrapped its first season. Sonic 2, gotta go fast, gotta go even faster with Knuckles and Tails, and Jim Carrey is back, funnier than ever. It doesn't really connect with me, but I just now realized that I forgot to say skip or watch. Hopefully you got that from my reviews. My really quick reviews, but Sonic 2 is fun, not for me, but yeah. He is going fast and he's blue. All right. That's it for what we've been watching. Let's get to Fantastic Beasts and the Secret of Dumbledore.
The world as we know it is coming undone. Things that seem unimaginable today will seem inevitable tomorrow.
In an effort to thwart Grindelwald's plans of raising pureblood wizards, did that even come up? To rule all over non-magical beings, Albus Dumbledore enlists his former student Newt Scamander, who agrees to help, though he's unaware of the dangers that lie ahead. Lines are drawn as love and loyalty is tested, even among the truest friends and family in an increasingly divided wizarding world. I gotta say that's a really bad synopsis, really bad logline.
Terrible.
To an overall, I mean, movie, we can agree that wasn't that great, but on Letterboxd it's currently sitting at a 3. I would believe it might have been even lower, for my estimations. A 6.7 on IMDb and a 49 on Metacritic. It had a budget of about 200 million, has so far grossed 58 million, but that's just from the opening weekend into the international market, so it's probably gonna be growing quite a bit more. It is from the one and only, all of the later Harry Potter type of films directing guy, David Yates, and comes in at 142 minutes. So that's all the things you need to know about Fantastic Beasts 3. Lachlan, general thoughts about this film. Hit me. What did you make of it?
That's my entire thoughts. That's literally how I felt when I walked out of the cinema. Was just meh. It's meh. There's nothing.
It is very meh.
It's a patty of nothing. It's nothing. There's nothing in this burger.
Nothing
it's like a wrap.
burger.
It's a nothing burger. It's what else? What else can I say? It's like a bowl of cereal of nothing. I don't know. It's just a bowl of milk. There's no cereal.
It's
There's
like
nothing.
you have I think an allegory for it is like, Hermione and her bag that you had that was like ever expanding. And it's basically that for this franchise, but the bag is just empty. There's nothing in it. Just nothing. There's just a void.
Nothing.
I would also add fuck J.K. Rowling. I wasn't aware that she's actually she has an active part in writing these. It's her and another person who also did the writing for most of the other Harry Potter films. They've kind of been a duo doing this, and what are they doing with the writing? What is going on? Like, is she just beyond anything now, or is she just I don't know, high on drugs, or what is happening when she's writing these? They have no coherence. Before we get into spoilers, we'll get into spoilers really quickly, because if you're into this franchise, you've already seen this film, and if you don't care and don't want to see this film, we really can't recommend it. We'd rather just spoil it for you and have a good laugh about it. But basically, I think the themes of this, are you pure of heart, or are you a wizard Nazi? That's basically what's happening. And apparently, for some reason, magic creatures got to be woven into the political process. So I think it's kind of I think it's which Star Wars movie is about is it The Phantom Menace? That's just about, the diplomacy,
the political
and
stuff, yeah.
The political stuff. It's like that type of film for this franchise.
I mean, all the prequels are, because it obviously involves a lot of the Senate. So I would say the majority of the prequels are all that.
And we don't even get any, the equivalent to pod racing in this universe would them be flying on brooms, but there's not a single scene where they fly on a broom. So consider me disappointed. Who would you say, if you had to choose, is the main character in this film, or maybe even this franchise?
David Yates.
David Yates, yeah?
David Yates is the main character.
Oh man, I mean, he wouldn't be working if there weren't any, Harry Potter property that he could just adapt somehow.
Main character, right? Main character.
Yeah.
Because this is an interesting conversation about Fantastic Beasts, because this is a series called Fantastic Beasts, and it goes Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and then it goes Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald, and then it goes Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore, because the entire marketing campaign of this movie was Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore. Fantastic Beasts is the subtitle.
It's tiny thing.
Tiny little thing. Where the first one, it's in your face, Fantastic Beasts. And they have realized they've made a mistake, because they shouldn't have made a series about Newt Scamander, because the story that they wanted to tell was never going to be about him. It was going to be about Dumbledore and Grindelwald. So it's kind of embarrassing that they have left it as this story where they have to somehow find a way of getting Newt Scamander back into it. he's not even the main character in this, in my opinion. Like, he's the one that we follow the
No.
most, but he's not the main character. That's Dumbledore. That like our last one, The Crimes of Grindelwald. Like, it is Grindelwald's story, even though not as much. But it's not like, he's no longer the main character, which is unfortunate.
It becomes way more of an ensemble thing, and I think here they are trying to like, they give him a bunch of I'd say B-story plot points that just are there to maybe showcase mainly the two, like the platypus thingy that he has. It's really into gold, and Stick. I just call him Stick. And they are fun, and I think like the scene that they have, or like the scenes that they have, are probably what I quite enjoyed the most about this, because it was like a one-off thing. You know, they have this little their shenanigans. They're not really tied to the overall plot, and I feel like, oh, they're just pure. They're pure of heart, you know. There's nothing that is just like bad about them, because like these poor creatures, these CGI creatures, they it's not their fault that the series is gone so downhill. Although even the first one I thought was kind of mid. It was never, the series was never really good. But was there anything redeemable about it? Did you like the
Yes.
visuals maybe, or maybe the fights, the action? Was there something that worked for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
The-
Do you
the
need spoilers for
two-
that? Or
The fights. That's it.
the fights, yeah.
The fights.
Yeah, I thought, by like, without getting into the specifics yet, but I thought some of the fights were a bit underwhelming, because they cut so much. But there were also a few fights where, like, I was like, yeah, it's really interesting how it's not just like in the fifth Harry Potter one. It's basically them all using guns, and here it's a bit used more, a bit more creatively. I think it's also the addition of a character that's I'm blanking on her name, but it's she's a professor who is a
I think
professor
she's a
against the
charms
dark
professor.
arts. She's a what?
I think they said that she's a charms professor.
Charms?
I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
I'm
like against
fact-checking this.
the defensive arts. I think that's what one of them is. But anyways, I think they use the magic quite in an interesting way, but it's also just like so over the top and extra at times, where I'm like, I think this worked better in a more grounded way in Harry Potter, and now that they have the capability to just like, you know, turn everything around them in pretty surreal at times, where you like, it's disorienting as well. I don't know. It's fun, that side of it. I think as soon as you bring the story into it, it doesn't fully work. So with that, I think let's move over to spoilers. And Lachlan, could you give us a quick summary, a spoiler-filled summary? What the fuck is this movie?
Hang on, I'm still trying to make sure that I'm getting this right. Yeah. Hicks began teaching at the Ivory School of Witchcraft and Wizardry as the charms professor. Boom.
Right. I don't know what a
That's
charms professor is, but it sounds
Fucking-
cool.
How dare you not know?
I don't know.
You're not a Potter nerd? You're not signed up? I've got 17 Harry Potter tattoos on my body.
You got 17. Oh, I thought you had 17 tabs open with all the information. But
okay.
Sorry, I only got 15.
What did you want?
I'm
What did you
behind.
want? A review?
Just like a quick what the story is.
Oh, I don't know.
Fair
I don't.
enough.
This is the third movie in a series of 5, and essentially it's the midpoint. There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's no story. There's no motivation for any of these characters to go from one part of this scene to the next part of the scene, except maybe love. There's nothing. Okay, hang on. All right. Here's how I summarize the story.
Mm-hmm.
Dumbledore is gay.
It does come like start off with that, and I think it's like we're giving them a fan moment.
I didn't realize it
and,
was going to be so obvious.
I want it more.
They've made
Yeah.
it such a thing in the past where it's like, I think J.K. Rowling said that he was gay, and it was never canon because it was never actually in any of the movies where he says,
Yeah.
I am like I love you to Grindelwald. Maybe in the last one it's a bit like hinted at, but it's never said. And I got told by a coworker that they make it obvious, but I didn't realize it was going to be the 7th line in this film at the opening. Like that's how obvious it is. In fact, there's I think they said there's 6 seconds removed from this movie in China to delete all of the gay references.
It's just,
so that's how
opens with the diner burning up. That's how it starts with no context. It's just
There's no context. Just Dumbledore in a white room. That's all it is. There's no conversation at the start because China's like, we don't want it.
Yeah, we don't want that.
There's no way you can summarize this movie though, because there is no motivation for these characters from when they start to the end, because they end up being in the same place. Grindelwald is he goes to be a politician, but he then fails. He's in the same spot. There's no evolution. If they wanted to have something to grip onto, because there's nothing now. Like, what's his name? Emo goth lord.
Credence?
Credence, yeah. Who, again, literally is the most depressed. The only thing he says in this is, do you know what it's like to be alone? Like, that's all he says. And then he leaves.
He writes on the mirror.
And he goes with his dad. And then, you know, we learn that Dumbledore's pure of heart. Mads Mikkelsen's character, I completely forgot, Grindelwald, there it is again. He is in the same spot. Like, they start at this spot and they end at this spot. That's the same position. So this entire film is unnecessary. There's nothing good to it, and except for the fights. So go back to that really quickly. The worst thing about Harry Potter, other than Harry Potter the character, is how underwhelming the magic actually is. Because the magic ends up being kind of like, I'm going to use this spell while you're going to use this spell, and whoever's more powerful is going to win, right? It's not like a trickery or anything. In this one, which the Charms Professor, she's using like the things around her in the environment, which is actually very interesting. So the one thing I liked about this series is how they made magic more incorporated with the world, right? The only interesting spell that ever worked with the environment would be like the one where they Wingardium Leviosa, and the one where it pulls, the Accio one, when it's like Accio and it like pulls something to them. It's like, that's interesting because it's interacting with it. Because the fight between Harry Potter and Voldemort is them just, and then it's like, my mum and dad pop out of my wand. Wow. In this one, it's more like, I'm going to use this spell to create a bridge from this book that you're going to run across while I create a storm that's creating a lot of wind. Or even the fight that's at Machu Picchu. I can't remember where it was, but it was like some random. That's it, Bhutan. Yeah. And it's like, I'm going to use these little golden balls. Or like even like the things that Dumbledore obviously did to the briefcases, right? It was fun. One was full of bakery goods that just expanded. The other one was full of books that expanded. The one had Quidditch stuff in it that went around. That was a very interesting use of magic. And that's what's enjoyable about these films, of how they expanded the world and how magic is used. But the biggest downside is the story is fucking boring.
I mean, I agree. It doesn't really come together, and I didn't really get the whole deer thing. So the whole election process was like very funny to watch, because they have like, apparently, I guess,
I still don't know how someone gets elected in the magic world.
Yeah, why is a deer thingy or like little horse selecting them by, not by votes, by how pure of heart they are? And then I also didn't really get how they tricked it, so like they had a dead one.
So he
missed
like,
that, but I didn't get it.
Obviously you don't know how Harry Potter works. So basically he killed it, right? So he could have its like magical seeing powers. And then what he did was he resurrected it back to life and then put a spell on it to make it seem like he was pure of heart. Obviously. That was all obvious. He resurrected it in that magic pool. You know that magic pool?
The Lazarus pit?
The one where he clearly should have been naked, but he was still wearing all of his clothes. But because it's a Harry Potter movie, they can't be naked except if it's an underage kid in a pool.
Like, why did they not? didn't have a hot, steamy makeout session. Like, if I'm
Who,
here
Grindelwald
for gay
and
Dumbledore
Dumbledore?
and gay Grindelwald, I want them to make out as well, not just like this longing thing. Oh, we have so much love for each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
then show it to me, bitch. I want to see
And then,
it.
and then,
Give it
like
to me.
the fight with Dumbledore and Grindelwald at the end when the charm broke that they have is also kind of interesting because I was like, this is going to be the fight because I've always heard about this sick fight that goes down between the two, and that one's not as interesting because it's kind of just like bang bang. It's kind of very similar to like the traditional fight where it's like the liquid magic kind of like spews at each other and they like do that. Where that one's not as fun, but it's got a bit of emotion to it, which is exciting because they're the only two interesting characters in this entire franchise. Because one is already established.
Yeah, I think it's crazy how Aberforth is just like always in the background and like is doing nothing. He's just being like, basically the whole movie, and then he's like one of the integral parts of like this final thing where he saves his brother. So I didn't really get this. Right, this was kind of a shoehorned in thing that Credence is a Dumbledore and that he's a brother that Albus
I thought he was
have,
his
right?
brother, and turns out it's his brother's son. So it ends up being like this really confusing thing.
Wait, it's his brother's son?
Yeah, it's his brother. Bro, did you pay attention to this movie at all?
I did not get this. No, I did not. I
Man,
was so
you
tuned
must have
out.
just been asleep.
I thought it was just a brother. No, I did not. I couldn't give less of a shit about it.
So Credence,
to be honest,
Credence is Dumbledore's brother's son.
Aberforth, why did we not get anything from that storyline then?
But no, he did.
No wonder
because
I didn't get it.
When Newt walks up to the door and is like eavesdropping on their little conversation, Dumbledore's like, he's your son, and that's the only part. That's when you realize, and that's when I realized because I totally thought that it was his brother. Like it was his. Like it was another. It was another sibling in those three siblings, and I was kind of confused on how young he was, in comparison. But
yeah, I thought it was funny that somehow Jude Law's like natural accent, British accent, sounded fake. Like sometimes he sounded American.
It did. I thought the same thing. I was like, why does he keep changing his accent for Dumbledore? I was super confused.
Yeah.
That as well as like with Dumbledore being the only interesting character because he's the only established character that we like, and it's really hard to fuck him up because he's meant to be good. I don't know how I still don't like Grindelwald. We've had 3 of some of the greatest actors of our lifetime play him, and I still don't like the character.
Well,
like I don't find him. I don't know what his motivation is at all.
It was funny because in the first one he was just like, I guess I'm being someone else who I'm pretending to be. I'm having influence over the magic world from behind. And then now he like in the second one he steps more in the front and was like, yo, you see humans, they're gonna do a Holocaust. That fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Let's not do that. And in the third one he's like, yo, how about that Holocaust? Can we do that? Like, how about we do it? How about Wizard Germany? And apparently, like, I guess Germany is like, I don't know, the wizarding world would be separate from it, but I guess they're going through the same socioeconomical struggles from the late Weimar Republic. And this is, I think this is supposed to be 1927. Right. And I mean, this spans until the end of the Second World War, where the fight happens. So apparently, in this next 2 movies, we are gonna skip ahead by like 18 years. So that's gonna be crazy. But yeah, it's like the rise of power, like rise into power, like the slow takeover of like symbolizing Hitler, not really subtly. But I didn't get that because he didn't do it. So I think for this movie to work in the setup for the next movies, he needed to have a win by the end of this.
He doesn't do anything that makes you hate him, per se. Like, there's nothing that makes you kind of like, Like, obviously, well, the one thing I will say is that they definitely set him up as being a bad guy early by, this guy is bad, we're going to make him slit this cute magical creature's throat kind of vibe. But at least in the Harry Potter series, Voldemort is interesting because he kills Cedric Diggory just cold blood.
Yeah.
And that makes you go, holy fuck, this guy is bad. In this one, it's like, okay, he slit this magical creature's throat, and I can't remember what he did in the original one either. Did he kill? He killed that dude's sister, Lestrange's sister. Wow, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
Like, that's all. He hasn't done anything that makes me go, this guy is inherently evil and bad, because he hasn't done an atrocity yet. Even in like the last Harry Potter movie, Voldemort literally sent some Dementors and fucked up that bridge in London. He's done more than what Grindelwald ever has. So I'm like confused because, as I said, we've had Colin Farrell, which didn't play him per se, but played a fake version of him. We've had Johnny Depp, and now we have Mads Mikkelsen, who are all very, very good actors. It's not them, because they're all doing a great job. It's this character's motivation. And he has no motivation to make us dislike him. He's kind of just, again, he's a nothing. He's just nothing. At all.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say anything about this film. I think what also I found super funny about the film is like that Tina, one of the like leading characters
in the entire
like,
series so far, is in like two
some
scenes.
Behind the scenes thing, but she's just not in
I'm
it.
assuming when they were like, oh, she got a promotion, I'm assuming that she had some other acting conflicting schedules, so she couldn't be in this film. But like, oh man, dog.
I think she made like some statements on social media, and then maybe.
Oh,
I
so
don't
it's
know.
like a statement thing. My gosh.
I think. Well, no, not a state. Well, that she said like she was written out of the movie a bit more. I don't know if she was initially gonna be more of it. I think that like, did we get that weird blonde character or redhead character before? That was just like his assistant, Addie Redmayne's.
I don't think
we got her
ever
before,
I don't,
right?
This
was
is
she
my
new?
assistant. She's been my assistant for 8 years. I don't remember her.
I don't remember her either. And
I
then
don't
she has
remember
like
her.
one of the she carries the suitcase that actually has the thing. So like
Yeah. Half of these characters have been introduced in this film anyway. They realize they've made a mistake
Yeah.
in this, and they're trying to basically reboot it from here, but they can't reboot halfway
They didn't
through.
kill anyone off as well. It
No
was so
one's dead.
boring.
Kill his
no
brother.
one dies.
Kill
I was
Newt's
about
brother.
to. Yeah,
Kill him.
I was.
And
I was
I will hate. I'll hate Grindelwald.
Yeah. I mean, even the Credence thing felt like so last minute of like.
Kill Credence.
Look at that, bro.
I mean, Warner Brothers wants to anyway. They want to kill his career, but like,
Exactly.
God, it would have been so much
That's why
easier
I
just to
was
do a
really
reshoot.
expecting- I was really expecting him to die there because I was like, oh, that ties this thing, like this mess that they created with the Dumbledores. And I mean, now it's more about Albus anyways. And I mean, they do have that history that they just hint at, you know, with the sister that died in another fight that they had when it was like split.
It's not even
whole
hinted at. They kind of
thing.
just have a whole conversation about it. Man, you
I guess-
didn't watch this movie at all.
No, I did pay attention.
You didn't.
Okay.
You didn't pay attention to this movie at all.
I didn't.
What
I
movie were you
didn't.
watching while you watched this movie?
I was.
Were you running between two different cinemas?
No. Well, yeah, I just wasn't paying attention, to be honest. I kind of dozed off. The thing was, like, this has nothing to do with the film, but I recently went back to the gym and I did like a workout for my like chest and I guess a little bit of my arms, shoulders, and then the day after, like the day on of the screening, I couldn't move my arms up. So I was sitting in the theater with my jacket on because I couldn't take it off. I had someone had to help me to put it on. I couldn't put it off. I was also late for that screening. So I was immensely stressed, sweating, watching The Secrets of Dumbledore, and I had a dark secret that I could not take this jacket off. And I just was so bored, incredibly bored by this film that I really wasn't paying attention. And I think someone there was also like the Yusuf Kama, I think is his name, the Latita Lestrange's brother, who's like he was weird in the last film, the way he was in there, like basically just to make the whole plot convoluted. Thank you, J.K. Rowling. And now in this, he has this nothing story as well, where he's lost his sister. And then he joins up with Grindelwald. And I mean, Queenie, oh my God, let's not even get started on Queenie. But like, Queenie can read minds. and it's never they never state like if she on which side she is. Because she seems to be on his side, and the only thing pulling her back is mainly Jacob. It's also weird that Tina is not involved with her sister actually like being taken by like a dark force. She's just not in the film. That's just bad writing as well. But he goes over there basically just to have that moment where it's like, I'm now with Grindelwald. Haha, psych. Yep. I'm actually not.
Psych.
And that was his whole plot. It's so incredibly stupid.
It's incredibly stupid. Okay.
The whole yeah.
So I can summarize on why I hate it. I can in fact, I think I know exactly what it is.
Okay.
The past 7 Potterverse movies are pretty much all the same in terms of vibe.
Everything Yates has done, you think? Since
it's all
when
David
did he
Yates.
take over? Since
Order of the
one?
Phoenix.
Right, he did take.
So he did Phoenix, Half-Blood Prince, Deathly Hallows Part 2, and he's done all of these Fantastic Beasts movies. They need to stop giving him Potterverse movies. They need to give it to someone else because he's stale. He's boring. Him and J.K. Rowling are in bed together, and they need to stop. They need to get out. They need to separate.
Yeah,
get out of bed. She writes, he directs. This is boring. Give me something new. Get someone else. Get James Gunn. Right? Get James Gunn. Get me a Zack Snyder Potterverse movie.
Zack Snyder.
I want to see a Zack Snyder Potterverse movie.
The whole movie is just like, spells slowly traveling in liquid form.
I will take a Michael Bay Potterverse movie at this point. This series can't get any worse, so literally hand it to Michael Bay.
According to the Oscars, Ezra Miller in The Speed Force is the greatest movie moment of all time. So why not give us more of that?
Greatest movie moment of all time. So
better as a bit of the Matrix. So
give
like
it to Ezra Miller. Let him direct. Fuck it. Let Jude Law direct. Give it to anyone.
Guy Ritchie would actually be fun.
Guy Ritchie, done.
Throw around people. Yeah, just
let it be Tarantino's last film.
Imagine. No, that would be crazy. I think it's weird because I think apart from, I guess, Dumbledore and Newt Scamander, Jacob Kowalski is kind of the lead character in these as well.
He is the lead character now.
And it's like, what is happening? And okay, maybe this is another thing where I didn't pay attention. So he gets a wand. The wand, it's just a stick, right? It doesn't do anything.
Did you just agree to you saying you didn't pay attention?
I didn't pay attention.
Okay, cool. Okay, really ask you a question. I can answer it for you. At least one of us is professional here.
No, I'm just playing the role of someone who's like unknowledgeable about the Potterverse, so we can have this. It's just for the audience.
So the guy with 17 Harry Potter tattoos can answer it. Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like doing a quiz after this about these films and see how bad we do. No, so he has a wand that Dumbledore gives him, and he is like threatening to use it, but then it's like someone else controlling him. Like to make it seem like he's doing magic, but I don't know, how does it work? Can a muggle, just because he has a wand, do spells?
I thought it was a fake wand.
It was a fake wand, right?
Yeah, it's a fake wand.
That's why it was so funny when by the end of it, he's like, "Can I keep it?" Yeah.
She's doing all the magic. It was a throw. It's a throw Grindelwald off, obviously.
Okay. Then I got it then. Okay, cool. Because I was like, that's the plan of the diversion that they want, because he can see the future, but apparently he can't see the future if there's a stick in the hand of a muggle, or like,
because there's no such thing as the multiverse, so you can only see one at a time.
But I still don't get how that would affect anything. Now that Jacob has a wand, it feels like it is just really dumb writing. Like, why would that affect anything?
It's funny, haha, not funny, he. So just move on.
Because like he sees. No, I don't want to move on, because he sees like Jacob over him with the wand, right? That's like his vision that he gets. But why does he get this vision? Because like that never happens.
And then
even
you get
if
like
it's
the
fake,
chancellor.
it never happens.
Then you get like the chancellor of like Sweden or whatever being like, "Assassin!" across the room. My God, that was fucking hell.
Yeah, I like the portrayal of Germany, which is just like one big chanting group of people. they don't have any characters. Just like, we are mad. This is the end of the 20s. That's why we were just like an angry mob ready to be.
Also, where I
Nazified.
learned when I realized that this film was just super lazily written. There's a car in this movie in the Wizarding World.
Where's car? What scene?
The one that Grindelwald's in. He's in a car, isn't he?
I don't. Again, I didn't.
Since
I didn't
when
watch
does the
this movie.
Potter world use like a combustion engine? I mean, they use a steam engine with the train, but when they use a combustion engine, unless it's a magic engine.
I don't know. Did you like the moment where they just teleported to Hogwarts and they cued the music?
Oh, hang on.
They had like one scene in Hogwarts.
I'm completely wrong. I just got proven wrong. And I got a Harry Potter. I've got a Harry Potter person next to me, the aficionado. They fly in a car in the second one. I forget.
They do fly in a car in the second one.
But they fly.
Right.
This one didn't fly. This one was on the ground.
Yeah, it's boring. Maybe they didn't have the technology yet. The wizard technology to make it fly. I don't know. Yeah, there's also like this thing that Dumbledore does where he's like teleporting people into different multiverse. I don't know what he's doing, like into a different reality. I mean, the movie starts off that way, I think. I don't know if it's a memory. It's really weird the way that this movie starts off because like it seems like it's a memory, but also it's not because they're meeting and he has the thing that he got at the end of the second movie. So it must have happened. It just doesn't make any sense.
It's just really lucky that they have the mirror universe like they do in Doctor Strange, that they can all do their magic spells and not fuck anything up in. Excellent. Great. Good writing, JK.
The tie-in to the larger MCU, yeah.
Look, take the script away from JK Rowling, take the directing away from David Yates, give it to someone who is fresh and new, and let them develop it, because I still think that the Wizarding world is a very, very interesting world. I think that the magic can be very interesting if it's done correctly. And if it's going to be a Fantastic Beasts movie, involve a beast that's actually exciting, and don't just throw it in there as a plot point. Have it in there and have it be something important for Newt Scamander to do. If it's going to be a Fantastic Beasts movie. What do you mean? There was a
big scorpion.
It's a big scorpion. It was a big
Big
spider.
acid scorpion.
That was the worst
Aragorn.
scene. I hated that whole scene. It was the most dumb slapstick thrown in comedy, and there's no other comedy throughout the film. It's just thrown in there randomly. It's jarring because it's so different from everything else. Like, it would fit in the first movie because there is that kind of like quirky aspect to Newt Scamander, but in the entire film he's very like timid and shy, and he doesn't really say much. But in this, he's like,
he's just annoying as well.
Do the crab walk, and it's like, haha, he's doing a crab walk. Yeah.
What else? I couldn't tell if those were crabs or if they were mini scorpions.
Bro, they're
like,
a magical creature.
Like scorpion. I mean, it was. Yeah, it's also, what the fuck was that prison where like you just randomly get executed?
That was the Gulag, bro. That's where you go when you die in Warzone.
That's the wizarding.
Wizarding Gulag.
No, I'm not gonna. Let's not go there. I think it's there's no good joke here. It's just gonna be really dark.
But Ewan,
anyways, where do you see this series going?
Nowhere.
To round
it's
this
not going
off.
Anywhere. I don't see the series going anywhere. Look,
do you think
get the other two films done?
They would actually cancel it, or do you think they'll continue?
No, they won't cancel it. J.K. Rowling has enough money to finance the next two films herself.
True. Yeah, that is true.
So she will do the next two films so she can make a bit of money, even if she loses money, because I think that this film hasn't been very successful, Jesse. Oh, the film isn't fully out yet, is it?
Yeah, I mean, you would have to compare it to the others, which I don't know off the top of my head if they have made like a lot of money or not. But I mean, they also haven't done a lot of like promotion for it. At least I haven't seen a lot of it. And like I've talked like this, talking to some people who are really into like Harry Potter, and I brought it up like, have you seen this movie yet? Because it's been out, for us for over a week now. And they were like, wait, this movie's out? Did this a new movie? So, even the target audience that would just eat it up, you're not getting it.
The first one grossed 814 million. The second one grossed
That's a lot of money.
654 million. So I'm going to say this one does 400. Lock it in.
Yeah, and then it would just break even because it costs about 200 million, which is a lot
Double
of
that
money
budget.
for a movie. A lot of money. To be honest, I would. This is going to be a controversial statement. I would rather see a remake of the original Harry Potter trilogy before I see another one in this series.
You'd rather see
Honestly.
a remake of Harry Potter.
I'd rather see
Really?
someone redo the Philosopher's Stone, than this. So
Damn.
it has come to this. Yes, it's just so bad, and it has nothing interesting going into the next movies as well. That's just the disappointing thing. There's nothing set up in any way, so that's why I was like, maybe they'll cap it off here and kind of cut their losses, at least creatively and artistically, if there ever was any, and if there was any like artistic notion in there, anyways. Well, I guess all of the effects stuff, not to be discredit everyone who worked on this. It's just like mainly the writing that's just fucking sucks. But yeah, I don't want to see another outing in this franchise, and they kind of ended it in a way where they could end it. I don't, but again, I don't think they will, because they do gotta build to Wizarding World War II, or I guess it would be World War I for wizards. I don't know the complete history. Maybe someone can educate me, and I also didn't pay attention to this film, so I don't even know what happened.
You probably won't pay attention to the person informing you about that either, so
what sorry.
You probably wouldn't pay attention to the person informing you about stop not listening to me as well. Fuck you.
Anyway. Gotcha. Anyways, Lachlan, where did you arrive at as a rating for Fantastic Beasts?
So
The Secrets of Dumbledore.
To rate Fantastic Beasts, I had to go look at my other rated films. So at number 5, I've got The Green Knight, and then I didn't think it was a 5-star, so I decided not to give it 5 stars. So then I thought, all right, let's see what else I've got. At my 2, I've got like The Midnight Sky, which didn't totally suck. It just didn't really have much going for it. And I thought that would be an insult to Midnight Sky. So I decided to then look at my number 1 stars, and I realized that I have Captain Marvel and Resident Evil Retribution in there. And I thought it would also be an insult to put it in there as well. So I decided to go to my half star, and I've got Hubby Halloween as a half star. And I thought that'd be insulting to Adam Sandler to have this movie in there. So I'm not giving this movie a rating. I'm just going to give it a meh. Meh out of 5.
Meh out of 5.
It's not getting a rating for me.
Wow.
Look, if I really had to, I'd give it like a.
Really didn't like it.
If I could just like, if I could give it I would give it a 5 for the wizarding battle that looks sick. The Credence and Dumbledore one, which I didn't get to talk about, but that was dope, and the creativeness of it. But everything else just kind of takes away a star for me. So, I give it nothing. It gets no rating.
Fair enough. Yeah, I gave it a 1.5 out of 5. Also quite a low rating, but I guess historically low for Lachlan here. And yeah, I'm honestly like, you know, talking about the films in what we've been watching that I did. Like, I think Apollo 10.5 is worth checking out. I think Sonic, if you're into it, you can see it. But I also thought that was kind of bad. But they're good for for video game movies. But just
speaking of Sonic, the only thing that I enjoyed about this movie experience is that about halfway through this movie, there was this dude that ran down the stairs very fast, and my girlfriend and I looked at each other, and we both realized we had the same meme in our head, like it fast as fuck boy, like running down the stairs meme in our head, and we both like basically chuckled at that. That was the only funny thing, and I was like, fuck, we should have gone and seen Sonic, but we wouldn't have seen Sonic anyway. But like that's the only funny thing that happened. The only part that actually made me chuckle throughout the film. So I just wanted to bring that up. So shout out to the dude that ran down the stairs where he had to go pee really, really.
Maybe in a couple of weeks when you get to Sonic 2, because I know you're a vehement defender of, you know, Sonic and its Oscar potential as well.
Actually, I didn't even get to say that. there was a point in this movie where I wanted to go to the toilet. And I was like, I might just go. I don't go to the toilet when I watch movies. I sit there and I suffer, even in like some of the worst ones. And in this movie, I was like, I feel like I could go to the toilet and come back in half an hour, and I still haven't missed anything. So
it's basically what I did.
That's a great way of saying how much I didn't like this film. Didn't enjoy this film. Yeah. Because it wasn't really.
But to continue on my thought, like Morbius sucked as well. To me, Sonic wasn't great. The Bubble sucked. Ambulance was Michael Bay.
Fuck, I mean,
people liked it more than. But I'm just what? Sorry, what?
You didn't sound like you had a fun. Stop not listening to me, bro.
I just didn't hear you because I was talking. There's a delay. Okay. I just I didn't like these films. I like these less than some other people did. I just didn't enjoy them. I think Ambulance has been like one of Michael Bay's most acclaimed films, but I just thought it was pretty trash as well. So I'm thirsting for a good film. So I'm about to go see. That's why we have to end this right now. I'm about to see The Northman. So we'll gonna talk about Robert Eggers soon. Then we'll get to Everything Everywhere All at Once. Those are gonna be two films that we'll talk about soon. Then we also got a movie that I've already seen, but I won't talk about yet. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. New Nick Cage film, also quite fun movie. So I'm looking forward to talking more about films that Lachlan doesn't give no rating to because it's so bad. And let's get back to some films that hopefully get some more of you back into the cinema seat as well. Well, that brings us to the end of today's show. Next week, we'll we'll be there. Maybe we'll still be on spring break. We'll see. But we'll be talking about the movies that we just mentioned in the next few weeks. In the meantime, don't forget to drop those 5-star reviews over on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Follow us on all our socials. We got an Instagram, we got a TikTok, we got a Twitter, we got a Letterboxd. Lachlan and my personal socials are also linked below if you want to drop us a follow. If you want to share your thoughts, you can email us at quietonsetspodcast at yahoo.com or drop in a voice message over on Anchor. Did I shout out a Patreon yet? Become a Patreon member or subscribe to the feed on Spotify if you want those monthly drunkcasts. I think that's all the stuff that I needed to shout out, Lachlan. Do you have anything else to add?
I gave 365 Days a half star, so at least that movie cared about sex or something. This movie didn't care about anything.
Wait, would you have given it a half star if Grindelwald and Dumbledore kissed?
Yeah.
Because I would have given it like a 1-star bump if that actually happened. Because you got balls and you're not just transphobic, J.K. Rowling. Anyways,
also, 365 sequel is coming out, and I think we should watch it. But that's all I'm going to say.
We are definitely gonna watch that. But let's port key out of this situation and see you next week. Okay.